inside for Albert. Albert will get the score. Fiddler, his farewell. He captain to a legend and probably rugby league immortality. That's not a try, that's a miracle.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. Team List Tuesday for round 4 has just dropped. We're going to get stuck into them this afternoon. Obviously the big news of the last 24 hours, Daly, Terry Evans and the Manly Seagulls and where he could potentially end up. We gave our thoughts a little bit earlier today on Bloke in a Bar. That's on Bloke in a Bar YouTube and on the Rugby League Guru podcast. So go and check out that for all of our thoughts. About an hour deep dive, just me and Kempy exploring all the options, going through everything that's happened, all the quotes and everything, a real deep dive into it. So go and check that out. Team List Tuesday, though, Kat, I cannot believe it is already round 4.
Yeah.
That is, we are at the end of month 1 of the NRL season. We had to wait what felt like 37 months for it to get here, and we're already a month deep. Wild.
I know. And to think that we were prepping to leave for Vegas in a few days last month. It's just the time has flown, but it's been very interesting so far, just as you mentioned, the DCE news, and I think that is a real sign of just the times that we're in and how quickly things can change as well.
Yeah, can get turned upside down very, very quickly.
Indeed.
Let's get stuck into TLT. Shout out to the comments last week who asked me if I rented the studio and was in a rush to get through this or if I was on my way to a fire or something.
I found that
very fair
funny.
shout. I'm going to slow down a little bit this week. I'm going to be a little bit of a cool cucumber, as one would say.
Love it.
Catmandu, Thursday night, what have we got on?
All right, well, the action kicks off at Accor Stadium where the Rabbitohs will be hosting the Panthers. Both teams with quite a few changes. Kickoff is 8 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah, so for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Campbell Graham is out. I believe it is a lower leg injury, but we will see. Tass comes in at centre. Still no sign of Latrell Mitchell. Outside of that, South Sydney are pretty sweet to go. For the Penrith Panthers, we tipped you off last week that there would be changes to this backline. We thought Casey McLean might fall out of the side last week. Turns out it was this week, so he's been dropped to the extended bench. On top of that, Paul Alamotti, he has been moved to the wing, and Casey McLean and Tom Jenkins will start at left centre. We said to you last week, Tom Jenkins at left centre in New South Wales Cup has been absolutely killing it, so he's definitely one to watch. Had a big game last week, got caught out of position a few times at fullback, but he isn't a fullback. He's a centre or a winger, so I'm keen to see how he goes at left centre. A guy, he's got a bit of the Jesse Ramians to him. Looked like a star coming through the grades, went to Newcastle for a year, completely went to shit, didn't work out, returns to his club, and I reckon he's going to do well there. So keep an eye on Tommy Jenkins. And Tolau named in jersey 7 as well, so he comes into the side. He's obviously jumped ahead of Brad Schneider, which is a very, very good effort there. Jack Cole remains in jersey 6, and Blaze Talangi has been named in jersey 14. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes into the game. Obviously, the Cleary injury last week changed quite a bit, but yeah, I'm keen to see how they utilise Blaze in this game. Friday night, Kat, talk to me.
Friday, we have the Roosters versus the Titans at Allianz Stadium. This action kicks off at 6 p.m.
For the Sydney Roosters, Connor Watson obviously out with a HIA this week. Zach Docker-Clay lines up in jersey 9. You've also got Nat Butcher and Lindsay Collins returning on the bench. Worth noting, Billy Smith also on the extended bench. Heard a rumour this week that Dom Young might be carrying a little bit of an injury, so we could potentially see Nawanga Nitawase move to the wing. Billy Smith come in at centre, maybe. But Dom Young has been named, so there might not be any fire with that smoke. For the Titans, absolute heartbreak for your boy today. Kini has been sent to see a specialist on his neck, so we're not quite sure what it is. I've heard from one Titan staffer that they think it's a minor niggle, but they're not entirely sure. I've seen an NRL physio, which I tend to agree with him. You don't go to a specialist for a 1 or 2 week injury, so we will see. But Supercoach draft team is in absolute tatters, and you don't get to see a grown man cry all that often at 4:02 on a Tuesday. But Kat was lucky enough today to see a good old-fashioned guru tantrum.
Yeah.
Quite the experience,
You were
wasn't it?
absolutely rattled. It's like day and night difference when you read something that has affected your draft team. I know immediately because your whole mood changes.
Affected my draft team is an understatement. This has hit my draft team with a bus and reversed over it 3 times. So, living in the hurt locker over here. Friday, 8 p.m. What do we got, Mandu?
All right, the late game on Friday is another Queensland derby. I feel like we see these every single week. The Dolphins taking on the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. Kickoff at 8 p.m.
Yeah, not much to note here. The Dolphins, I don't think there's any changes to this side. They're essentially running out with the same 17 that they did last week, desperate to find a win in season 2025. For the Broncos, Tony Staggs was rumoured to return last week. He will return this week. Obviously, he's returned to right centre. So Dean Mariner, he drops out of the side. There's a chance that he could have taken the jersey of Shibasaki. For all the shit people give him out there, I think Shibasaki has been tremendous. Dean Mariner has been good too, but Shibasaki did win that jersey originally. I think it's a good message that Michael Maguire is sending. So, and for our Supercoach teams, fantastic news that Shibasaki stays in there, making good money, but also just as a guy that you can play. I played him this week. I think he scored 60 odd against the Dolphins there. I can see him have another big game there. Super Saturday, Cat, where are we going?
Starts at 3 p.m. and we're at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Your favourite with the palm trees. The Dragons are taking on the Melbourne Storm.
So with the Dragons, Moses Sully, he has been named at centre. David Clement to make his Dragons debut coming off the bench. On the bench, you've got Hamish Stewart as well, and Dylan Egan, who's a guy that was rumoured in the preseason of last year to be a bolter for a first grade debut. We didn't see him at all last season. He does make his debut this week on the bench, so unreal to see. Congratulations to him. Dragons, last time you saw them, they lost to South Sydney by 1 point. Flano gave them an absolute lip lashing in the media. They've now had a bye, 2 weeks to prepare to take on a Melbourne Storm team after a Panthers game. I'm not sure if there'll be an upset, but I think the Dragons get a lot closer than what people are expecting. For the Melbourne Storm, Anderson has been named at centre to replace Nick Meaney, who's out for 4 to 6 weeks, and Tyron Wishart, as expected, jumps into the halfback jersey to replace the injured Jerome Hughes. 5:30, talk to me, Kat.
I also just want to apologise. Netstrata Jubilee is not famous for the palm trees.
I was going to call you up on it, but then I thought, does it maybe have palm trees somewhere?
It has a nice outlook.
It does have a nice outlook. But yeah,
I was
the palm
getting the
trees
beachy vibes.
Are reserved for the one and only Central Coast.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Industry
Group Stadium, formerly
Stadium.
Blue Tongue Stadium, which was one of my favourite
There you
names.
go.
Saturday,
Amazing.
talk to me.
Saturday, 5:30 p.m, the Cowboys taking on the Canberra Raiders up north in Queensland Country Bank Stadium.
Nailed that. Well done. Cowboys, they are essentially 1 to 17 this week. Worth noting that Laybut is on the extended bench. He's made his return to the Queensland Cup over the last few weeks. There's a rumour around that Valia may be a late scratching with an injury that he's still carrying from last week. So we could see Laybut come into that side. But outside of that, the Cowboys are 1 to 17. For the Raiders, Joe Tarpanay returns. Nicholson holds on to his edge spot. Corey Horsburgh will be named in jersey 13 for this one. Outside of that, I think the Raiders are 1 to 17 there. The only one that I'm thinking off the top of the dome that may be out is Morgan Smithies, but I didn't catch that when I went through the team list. You guys can have a look at that yourself. Actually, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get it up and make sure. We're nothing if we're not efficient here. And Morgan Smithies is not in the side, so he's going to miss this week as well. So yeah, bench, Simi Sasangi, Trey Mooney, and Atta Mariota. All right, next game, Kat, talk to me.
Saturday, 7:35 p.m, we're at the Sharks Stadium where they're going to be taking on the Bulldogs.
If we ever call it Sharks Stadium again, I'm going to flip a table.
What's
Shark
wrong with
Park,
that?
Kathmandu.
Just so you know, it is Shark Stadium on
Yep.
NRL.com.
I'm aware, and we're better than them. We're calling it Shark Park. Know that. Sharkies there, 1 to 17. Outside of Hamlin Welle will miss. So Hal Tapua, he'll be on the bench. Apologies if I got pronunciation wrong there. A very talented kid, though. I'm keen to see him go round again. For the Doggies, no big changes here. Curran has been named on the edge. I wouldn't be surprised if Serraldo does some shit fuckery before kickoffs and moves guys around as he tends to do. But nothing major for the Doggies. Still got Matty Burton out and still got Kickout out as it stands right now. Sunday afternoon footy, Cat, talk to me.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, one of the most talked about teams in the game right now, the Manly Seagulls take on the Parramatta Eels, and this one is at home at Four Pines Park.
For the Manly Seagulls, Turbo is back in at fullback as Seabold promised. We'll wait and see if he does run out. Paseka, unfortunately, it looks like his season is over, so we want to wish him all the very best. Alloy will start at prop, and Nathan Brown comes onto the bench as well. One hell of a guy to bring into this side, Nathan Brown. For the Eels, Russell on the wing. Samrani is out. For you Supercoach players, or the 4% of you that have joined me on the Jack Williams train, he has been named in jersey 8. You best believe I'll be starting a very weirdly targeted social media campaign for him to get dual position. So brace yourself for that. And Kerr has been named on the bench for his first game of the season, I believe, for the Parramatta Eels. Last game of the week, 6:15 p.m. Talk to me, Mandu.
Yeah, the West Tigers host the Warriors out at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Talk to us about it.
The Tigers, they are 1-17 essentially. Didn't notice any big changes to that side. The Warriors, obviously Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is out of this game and out for a couple of weeks, I believe. So that sees Adam Pompey move to the wing. And it seems Rocco Berry coming to the centres was looking very, very good in reserve grade over the last few weeks for the Wars. So RTS a huge out, but Rocco Berry coming in, definitely no slouch there. They are your games for this week, legends, and all the changes that have occurred. Stay tuned. We have got Beers and Break-Evens coming your way tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m, then the late show after that, and then we'll have Jamie Sauer joining us on Thursday. We're actually going to drop that episode in the morning. So we've been doing it at 3 p.m. Last week we trialled with a 6 a.m. drop. We'll be doing the same thing on the podcast. YouTube might still be at 3 p.m, but if you want all of your Jamie Sauer goodness, it'll be there on Thursday morning. A preview of the week to come, a couple of hot topics. We'll be talking DCE with Sowie. Very keen to pick his brain on the topic. A few questions from you guys and whatnot. So make sure you join us for that episode each and every Thursday with the one and only Jamie Soward.